What's going on, world? I go by the name of Chris.
I'm Kanisha. I'm Ariam.
Tony.
It's Rebecca.
It's your boy Terry.
And we are the Skinners.
The Protos.
And we are the A-Team.
And this is...
And this is the Marriage Plug.
The Marriage Plug.
The Marriage Plug.
Like a fairy tale, but this ain't a movie. Yeah. The way you make me feel, you do something to me. Yeah, yeah. I want my hands locked in yours with everything in my...
All right, we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. We are recording. We got the month of August. Everybody, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good?
Hey,
y'all good?
Woo, we're good.
Protos, y'all volume work?
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
We good.
Making sure y'all got it on y'all computer. Okay, good, man. Well, look, we got another episode, another Zone episode for you all. We're super excited about this episode. I don't know if you guys noticed, but for the month of August, we've been talking about romance, you know what I'm saying, trying to populate or, re-spark some things or whatever we got going on. So, Rebecca, Skinner, what y'all got going? What you think about the topic so far?
Right. I think it is a really great topic. We got a lot of views after 2 days last week or 2 weeks ago. It was really, really good. So this video is going to be about the ways in which sometimes we lose romance. So last time we talked about what is romance and what's our definition of it. And so now we're talking about how do we lose that? Because you know what? This is something that we have to actively pursue. We have to actively continue that romance, keep that fire and all of that good stuff. And one of the things that really can be detrimental to romance happening in your marriage is your work life. So, in America, we are very fast paced. We're about pursuing our dreams, getting the next coin, entrepreneurship. If you're relaxing, something's wrong with you almost, and so, we want to talk about that work lifestyle and how has that negatively potentially impacted your romance and your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Ariel was gonna go first, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. But I want to know real quick before I start answering my stuff. Are y'all gonna judge me?
No.
Okay, I know y'all ain't, but I want to make sure because this is about to get real, and I want to make sure everybody understand what I'm sharing is this is my life. Okay, this is my life. No, all right. So look, no, for real, yeah, because it's about to get real. I was gonna be modest, but I ain't gonna be modest because I don't need to be. We don't need to suffer in silence. That's what the Marriage Plug. That's what we pride ourselves on. Okay, so on some real, work-life balance can really jack your stuff up. It can really do it because you are so focused, and it's especially if you work in a competitive field, or you know what I'm saying. If you're in heavy levels of leadership, I'm only speaking from my personal perspective. It can really jack you up because you are supposed to be a performer all across the board. You're supposed to be a leading performer for your team. You're supposed to be a leading performer for your management because, you're trying to get to that next level. Then when you come home, you got, as a man, I'm just talking as a man, you got to be a leading performer in the bedroom. You got to be a leading performer, all these different places. Can I be real with y'all? Can I get an audio for this one?
Yeah.
Harry, bro, I need my brother's voice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I had ED. Erectile dysfunction.
Oh.
I had ED.
Ariel was like, what are you talking about? What is this?
I ain't even noticed. Girl, shut up. Yeah, you did. Look, I was so, and this was new. I did not understand what was going on here because we'll start off strong and then it'd be like, ew, you know what I'm saying? She's like, did you finish? I'd be like, nah, bro. I don't know what happened here. And can I tell y'all that can jack your romance up, right? Yes. That can really put a blender in your bedroom. So look, I told you I was gonna get real. So work-life balance can really mess up your romance because it can really, if you can't come home and really learn how to separate your work life from your personal life, from your, your professionalism and all of that stuff, she's like, what's eat? No, mind your business. No, so like it can really alter some things. And so I guess that's like the intro while you answer, and then we'll kind of like maybe further elaborate.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So basically, for me, I get what he's talking about. I think just to add to the having a performance job, ambition in general is something that can really like drive people to do and to carry out actions outside of what should actually be a priority. So like what Chris was talking about, he was a branch manager at Enterprise at like probably like top 3 stores in the state. So when you would be driving an hour to work, driving home after, and sometimes still not having a break for yourself, people still calling, asking you what to do, that's a lot of energy into work. So when you come home, it's like you don't have the energy for your family or your friends. So for me, it would be times where he was like, Arian, I just need Mondays. Can you please just let me sit here? Yeah. You know what I mean? So even though I understood that can be a damper on the romance, because what happened if Mondays is the day that I'm free and we should have time together? So we really just need to, be conscious about timing of everyone and not just you, because when we get stuck in that ambition and that selfish mode, we can really start to see only tunnel vision and forget about the people that's around us. So that's just my little thing to his ED. I really think just being tired, and so much energy into other things, and now you don't got no energy for one of the things that matters.
And we gotta be honest, sex is very, 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 very important in a relationship. No, underkill. Like I still didn't say I'm not very, just that important, right? And so like, well, it is to me, I should say. And so like for me, this is like one of those areas where I'm like, yo, this has never happened to me before. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, what's going on with me? But at the same time, on the other side of it, I know it affected you, because she kept saying like, am I not attracted to, are you not attracted to me anymore? Or like, like what's going on? And all of these different things. And, even now, I don't really have like an explanation other than what I just said, because it's like, no, I'm definitely attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? And all of these other things begin to like come into question. It's like, it's none of that stuff. It's like, it's legit me. But then as a man, it's like, I don't want to say I'm the problem either, because I ain't never been the problem, right? So all of these things can definitely come into play. So, for the people who are working a lot, and it may be some sort of carryover effect into your personal life, and it may not necessarily be ED for you. It may be you snapping on your spouse, or maybe you're super low patient with your children, or you have low tolerance with your children. And I'm only picking this up from something that Tony said a while ago in one of the videos, where he was saying like, for him, if he feels some type of way, the way his household is being treated affects him. You see what I'm saying? Internally. And so like, if you coming home and you snapping on Mom Dukes, but then, or the kid, and then Mom Dukes feel some type of way, all of these things can really start, they'll start to carry over into other aspects of the relationship. What's up, KP?
I was going to say, like, I feel like I say this a lot, and I apologize for our, faithful viewers who've seen every video. They're like, okay, you've said that already. But I always go back to communication. I always go back to communication, because in a way, everything boils down to that. You know what I mean? So if you were suffering, from ED or whatever, anybody's having any issues in their relationship, if you don't talk about it, you start to develop this own rationale, you know what I mean, in your mind of what you think is going on, because that other person's not verbalizing it. So if you leave me to my own thoughts, it's probably not going to be pretty. No. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so important for us to be able to talk about what's actually going on, because when we're talking about work-life balance, I remember, do you remember like when I was working I had so many crazy jobs. I used to work for the state of Indiana as in the Department of Child Services. And let me tell you, that job was so crazy, to 24-hour on-call shifts every 3 months, people calling me at all hours of the day, because people's lives don't stop at 4:30. You know what I mean? So there would be times too where I would come home and like ask Tony what you want to eat, and he would say, I don't know. It would drive me nuts. I've been making decisions all freaking day. If you don't tell me what you want, guess what, bro? We about to eat pizza. for the rest of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm done. I'm emotionally spent. I don't want to make another decision. You know what I mean? And not even just that. I remember there were some days where I had, cases where kids seen their mother die, seen it. You know what I mean? And that is so emotionally taxing if you care. You know what I mean? So I was one of those people that took work home with me. I didn't know how to shut it off. And I remember there would be some days where I would just be sitting there in silence, and Tony would ask me, like, you okay? Like, what's wrong with you? And as much as I'm harping on communication, I didn't know how to communicate what was wrong with me. Because if I open my mouth and I give you everything that's going on and you look at me like, oh, okay, that's going to send me through the roof. Because if I'm talking about it, I need somebody that's going to unpack it with me. You know what I mean? And my husband, we just have two different lines of work. You know what I mean? That's all that was. So because of my line of work, all he could say was, okay, well, what do you need? You know what I mean? Like, I'm here for you. But in my mind, no, I need somebody to explain to me these feelings of what I've seen other children see and how that's affecting me. You know what I mean? So I feel like once we had our daughter, that changed because she became the priority of everything. I don't care what's going on at 4:45. That phone is off. You know what I mean? So, but before that, I didn't know. I didn't know how to, really separate the two. And I do believe that caused a strain, really, in our relationship at one point. I'm better with it now, but again, I say that to say this: communication, everything always boils down to communication. Even if you don't know how to say what you're saying or how to say what you're feeling, just say, I don't know. Something is wrong, you're right, but I don't even know what it is. Yeah. Okay, babe, I feel that. Thank you for, acknowledging that something's wrong. I can deal with that. You know what I mean? That we're on the same page. Now let's figure out how to work through it. Even if you don't know how to give it words, say something.
I'm with Chris on the ED thing. Because it's like, as a man, that's pride, man. That's real. That's pride, though. As a man, it's like, man, like, hold on, like, hey, I know I'm strong. You know what I mean? Like, I can hope. Hey, I gotta do it. But then, like you said, being at work all day, and our bodies is gonna react to our lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you gone for 10, 12 hours out the day, and you still ain't got no rest, your nutrition is not the best. Your body like, hold on, like you got to start doing something to change if you still want to please and romance your spouse, So
that's true.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the mental damper for both parties. You see what I'm saying? I mean, because again, this month, the whole month, we're talking about this, and I think this is the most bold, topic. I think for me personally, this is like I'm out we out there now, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's real though, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people, again, it's one of those things where we don't have to suffer in silence about this stuff because, we don't want people to go through what we've gone through if we know that we can help prevent it, and this is something that I know this particular topic because we are workhorses, Arian and I, we could talk about this a lot. But I won't hang it on that one question because I know we got a couple other topics to go around. But I think what KP said, as we get ready for the next one, you don't always know how to communicate that stuff. So I think the first thing is just kind of accepting what's going on, understanding like, okay, something is going on. If I can't communicate it, if I don't understand it, that's fine. But you got to know that something is going on. I know Rebecca got something for us real quick.
Yeah, I'm like, we wanted to answer this. I think this is really important because I'm like, dang, okay, we don't get an answer. No, but
you gotta give me something. Give me something.
But like, we're like the Aarons and we're like the Prothos as far as our work ethic. This dude works 24/7. He works every day. He does not have a day off. Okay. And now in my new role in administration, I really don't have days off either. I mean, like I legit have two phones and they're sitting right here next to me because I have to be responsive if something goes down at the building. Like if a fire happens, I'm the closest administrator to the building. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, one of the things I wanted to say is it sounds like what you all have been talking about has been more along the sexual side of things, whereas romance, once again, is not just physical, right? And so, but when you're tired, you don't even feel like putting the effort to do something nice, to wash some clothes, to fold some clothes, to clean the house, put some candlelights or anything. Like you don't have the time and the mental capacity for that. Right. And so I think I would say as Black folks, we can get pigeonholed into believing that we have to be working 24/7.
Right.
Like if we're not working, then we ain't out here grinding, we ain't out here eating. You know, it's almost like self-care is a bad thing in the Black community. However, it's really, really important. But I would say, I don't want to speak for Terry, but I will say from my perspective, I struggle when he works every day and we haven't engaged in any time. Or like if I don't know that he has to cut ahead and I already, once again, like she said, like Kanisha said, communication is so important. So like if he knows he got 2 heads to cut and I don't know that and I'm expecting to spend time with him and then all of a sudden he say, oh, I got 2 heads. I'm like,
right.
I'm chopped liver, right? You know what I'm saying? But then also vice versa, Terry could be talking to me about something and I could be on my work phone. I haven't heard anything he said. He's like, well, you were on your phone, so clearly you didn't even hear what I just said. You know what I'm saying? And so learning how to cut it off, cut work off. You know what I'm saying? And even to the point of Terry, if he ain't cutting hair, he looking at cutting hair videos. If he ain't looking at cutting hair videos, he looking up the newest guards or the newest, you know, it's just like never ending. I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that gets, you know, it gets. I mean, if he's not looking at somebody else cutting hair, he's editing a video that he created. Like it's just like, good Lord, bruh. Or he's at his actual 12-hour job, you know. Right. But that is really hard. And so okay, go ahead, babe. I'm done talking.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna agree with you as far as the yeah, I do work a lot, but also it could be you reading, because you be into your work as well as far as outside of work. You read leadership books, you watch leadership YouTube videos. Yeah. I'll be leading at work, not even knowing that it then came from watching the video that you watching.
Really?
I'm like, I call myself like, where did I hear that from?
My wife's YouTube
video. It's good to shut things off and enjoy the moment with each other when y'all can, because work makes that hard to actually do. But when you notice that work is making it hard to do, and you get those moments together, it's just best to just shut everything off. It makes it way easier to romance or reconnect or anything.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Yeah, real talk. And then so I think all of that is real. Rebecca, what you said, I feel like the stigma with the Black community, sometimes, I think we can be seen, people can see us as being lazy. You just don't, they're probably on a government system or something like that. So I think that's where that mindset came from. But another topic I was thinking about that can affect our romance and, potentially lose it is children and family. So, that's a whole nother dynamic that people now have to deal with. Not just the two, in a relationship or a marriage, but then you have a whole nother being that you are responsible for, that you have to care for. And that is, I guess, debatably more important. But I'm going to give just a quick snippet. Without your marriage and whole marriage being there, that child cannot be provided for the best and 100% best that you can. So, Prothos, y'all had little Kalia. I think we heard her in the background. So how do y'all, has that affected your romance by, having a child? We want to hear from y'all.
No, I would say no. It was
not in the beginning, maybe, yeah. When she was first born.
I mean, by default, yes.
Yeah, because you're getting lack of sleep, of course.
Who waited 6 weeks? We definitely didn't wait 6 weeks.
Yeah,
sorry.
We didn't. Sorry.
My doctor was like, "Wait a minute, 6 week appointment." She was like, "What you been doing? How do you know that?" So, for me, it was the opposite. Because I guess it was the way in seeing how Tony was with our child that made me want him even more. So I never told you that, but it was a total opposite for us. You know how babies, before they cry at night, they kind of, they move around. You can hear them in their crib, you hear them stirring. He would hear that. So there would be nights where he would get up with her before she really fully started crying, gave her a bottle, changed her diaper, and went back to sleep. all while he had to go to work and where I was off, you know what I mean, with her. So that to me was like, wow, I love this man so much, and seeing how in tune he is with our daughter just made me fall in love with him all over again, you know. So for us, I don't think that was really too much of an issue, but like you said, I mean, of course they have to get a little older. So that I think is where it kind of gets a little sticky, as y'all have already heard. You know, it's difficult, you know, trying to get her situated. Before we get on here, we got to make sure we got her, she has her movies, her snacks, her food, her drinks, you know, so that she's not, you know, necessarily bothering us while we're recording. But of course, I mean, she's only 4. So there's those moments where you hear her or she's coming up to us because she needs something.
But she knows, she knows how to cooperate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
she does, yeah.
So I think our romance now has gotten better, even, you know, during the time, because she's older now. So it's like when she's out, she's out. You know, I close that door, lock that door, and it's good from there. Because like now, even like now, if I, you know, give her a hug and a kiss, and or she try to do it to me, then that's when Kalia get involved and be like, hold on, don't kiss my daddy, and this and that. I'm like, so now all I can do is just give her a hug, and then she's like, no kiss on the lips.
Yeah, no kissing on the lips.
You got to kiss on the cheeks, and this and that. I'm like, dang. Right. So it's kind of funny in that perspective, though.
It's hilarious, but I will say schedule is important. Oh my God, if we did not have a schedule, like there have been so many times when we've been on FaceTime and Rebecca be like, "Why she still up?" Because everybody's schedule's different. You know what I mean? Like some kids get in bed at 7, she be giving Trey that at 7:30. I'm like, "Oh Trey, I know, baby, I know you want to stay up a little bit longer."
6:30. Okay.
Man, look. Schedule is so important. Granted, our daughter may go to sleep a little later than some other, you know, parents. She has a schedule. She has a routine. Yeah. That is so important, because I've seen some parents that they ain't, I mean, schedule, what is that? There is no schedule. There is no routine. There's no normalcy. There's nothing. And that's when you see where, you know, kids be all over the place, but I digress. So schedule is so important. Schedule and routine. When kids know what to expect, they should be good.
Last point, I think our romance has gotten better now during the quarantine.
A whole lot better.
Because she's not physically going to work. So I'm physically going to work, so we both have a little bit more time. But like when we both physically going to work and trying to make that time for Leah, because once we pick her up from daycare, it's kind of like you kind of feel bad. Like, man, I only been with her for a few hours and then it's time for her to go to bed. When I've been gone for 10, 12 hours of the day, you know what I mean? Then I can tend to her for a little bit, play, and then now I got to try to romance, and the next thing you know, we both passed out on the couch. Right. Because, you know, we tired, you know what I mean? So in a way, the quarantine has been a blessing and a curse at the same time, in my opinion.
Because you do work a lot more than me. So when he come on, be like, hey, how was your day? What did you do? What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? And then he just becomes like, all right, you know, let me chill for a second.
She know I'm a yard guy, so I love being in the yard. You know, I'm taking care of pool, cutting grass, all that type of stuff. So they can have something to do while I'm gone. And go in the backyard, do whatever you want to do. Can't do it, but if I got a forest in the backyard, you know what I mean? So, hey, I'm trying to ease her load for her.
Yeah.
For sure.
You want to start this one off, babe?
You start.
Okay. Okay. So when we first had Trey, I mean, it was just so different. You know, like, I don't know about anybody else, but like, you have to be selfless to be a parent. You can't be selfish at all. And the biggest thing that we were both adamant about is that this boy had to get out of our room by 6 months. Like, was it 6 months?
It was before.
It was before, but I think that was initially our goal. I think our initial goal was he needs to be sleeping the full time in his own room, in his crib by 6 months.
Once we saw he could roll over, we were like,
yeah.
We ain't got to focus on choking yourself in the cover.
Right. And so that was really important to us because we've seen people allow their kids to be staying in the same room for years. And it's like, when do y'all have any time alone? Like, so we refuse, exactly. So we refuse to be those parents, okay? So initially when Trey was still sleeping in our room, that was really hard. Like we weren't doing much. We definitely waited the 6 weeks or past the 6 weeks because I had some tearing and stuff. So you know, so everybody's healing process is different right now. But I would say now, and I agree with as far as the quarantine, we were rekindling a lot more. Because my job for the past 2 years have been so stressful, and just I would come home, barely want to play with Trey, and so fooling around with Terry. However, I still mustered up the strength to do it. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta rev yourself up. So I'm like, okay, let me get in the shower, let me put some smell good on. You gotta let me put a good wig on. Be a different person today, But I mean, but I would have to do that. I would actively have to do that. And then, like when Kanisha was talking about schedules being so important, that is so important. So people want to laugh and joke about 6:30. We either are finishing up dinner or we're in the bathtub, so we can be out of here. Peace out, because when Trey is asleep, like we know once that door closed and he got some almond milk, it's a wrap. He's going to sleep. And the thing is, especially because I'm working now fully, having to actually go into work, ensuring that he's in that room by 8 o'clock or 7:30. And I know I got to go to sleep because I got to be up at 5. You know what I'm saying? That's why we do it so early, so that Terry and I can have that time when he is off. We can have a longer extended period of time. We can eat dinner together. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. But go ahead, babe. What you want?
And I would say it was hard for us with Trey because our schedules is the opposite. Yep. So like once I get off at work at say 6 o'clock, Trey's up at like 6:45. So I gotta stay up with him. I didn't work the 12-hour shift.
And I gotta leave by 7.
Yeah, she be going by 7. So I gotta stay up with Trey probably another 4 hours until he take his first nap. That's when I can actually take a nap with him. So that goes from that. Then she get home from work at 4.
Well, that was before I got this new job. So I initially would get home. No. That's before becoming an admin. So I would get home at 4. Now ain't no telling when I get home. 5:30, and he got to leave by 5:30. Yeah. So we don't even see each other. Like, so when we say we legit don't see each other for his 4 days, if it falls during the week, we legit do not see each other. It's like trade off, high five, go team, see you tomorrow.
Hey man, daycare has been good to us. Let me just say, I think that we're probably non-conventional parents, if I'm using that word correctly. I didn't breastfeed, like, you know what I mean? She had formula, like I pumped until there was no more. She was in daycare like 8 weeks, 9 weeks, somewhere in there.
But we was fortunate though. We found a good home daycare too. That helped. Yeah. And it was a family friend, so.
Yeah, that helped with the schedule and the routine, because she knew what to expect, every single day. The daycare has their routine, their schedule, nap time, feeding. We got home, it was time to play, love on her, time to go to sleep. Like, it was, it's been good to us. Kudos to y'all, you know what I mean, for doing that, because that has to be, that has to be hard. That has to be hard. But a point is, even if you're a non-conventional parent, you know what I mean, you can still make it work. It can still work, but it matters. It's important of what works for you is what I mean. Because what may work for you may not work for, another parent. But especially in the age of social media, don't let anybody make you feel bad about your parenting choice, unless you're abusing or neglecting your kids. That's different. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I commend both of y'all as couples. You know what I mean? Because we don't have kids yet. But we see it, we watch couples, and one thing I know me and Chris always say, as it pertains to, when we finally add a child or children to the mix with romance, we keep saying, and we're pounding it in our brain now, and people are like, oh, it will change. No, I know we don't have kids, but I'm telling you now, your mind is a powerful thing. If you choose to have your time with your spouse and to make that a priority, it will happen. Period. Point blank. Same thing with everything else. In your mind, you go take care of the child, regardless. Come hell or hot water, you taking care of your kid. And I think that needs to be the same mindset. And that's one thing me and Chris always say. Like, as we watch people, as we pick up on tips, we're like, we can't be these people that haven't been on a date for like 3 years. We can't be that people who haven't been on a date for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's because it's a priority. It's so important, that communication and being able to spend that time with a person who, you know, under God, people who do believe. That's what marriage is for. You literally become one. So to have that time, I really think that is so important. So that's what we are preparing ourselves to do, like when the time does come.
Yeah,
and that kind of makes me think of. Go ahead, sis.
I was just gonna say the last little tidbit I wanted to say before we move to the next question is to actively date your spouse. Like, make that a priority. Like, I don't know if anybody took Arian's homework, but we took it to the max. These past 2 weeks, we've been romancing the heck out of each other, okay? You know, you be kidding, you know what I'm saying? But like, even like Thursday, okay, so Thursday, this past Thursday and Friday, Thursday was our date night at home, and Friday night was our family date night, right? And even the family date night was still romancing me, because we had the whole man cave and lights, cut the projector on, Trey out here dancing, you know, he falls asleep, and we're cuddling, and we end up falling asleep, like, and so that's why I said sex doesn't have to be a thing when it comes to romance, but even just that bonding experience, like, I felt closer in that moment. Like, we just made a memory with Trey that we'll always remember forever, and it may turn into a tradition, you know?
I seen that. That was so dope. I seen like the little setup. I was like, that was like, I had like the black sheet thing. I was like, yo, this is live. Low key, we definitely gonna steal that for the record.
Yeah.
I think we do movie night all the time.
We do.
I'm a movie head, so I'll be with Leah, you know, singing the songs too. Getting on her nerves.
Right. I mean, we talking about porn and everything, nachos, lights. We was not playing.
Yeah, for real.
But that kind of reminds me though, like when we're talking about like, you know, actively dating your spouse and keeping your spouse, you know, at the forefront. Like, yes, you may have a child you have to take care of, but you have to make sure that you're, you know, that you're in tune with what your spouse needs, their wants, you know, all that good stuff. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep that romance going, because you may look up and those kids are out of the house, you may be empty nested. And now you're looking at each other like,
so that brings up
so that brings us to the last point, the really the pretty good topic of tonight. Well, all these topics are good, but do you know how to turn your partner on?
Good question.
Terrence.
Very good question.
Terrence,
That's how you doing with your ears. What you gotta say? What you gotta say? We out here for views.
Be mindful, our kids in this room. No,
did not hear him.
I said I better.
You better?
I better.
Oh.
You know.
It's like, oh, okay.
What I did.
Kids in the next room.
Took my kids thing going up. But yeah, I definitely. I mean, if I wouldn't know how to romance, we would be in this marriage problem. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Like, who wants to be with somebody that if I can't turn you on?
I mean, I know, but yeah.
That's one of that, like, defeats the purpose. Not of marriage, but it defeats the purpose of stuff that happens inside of marriage.
But we also evolve. So Terry is always relearning me too. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So, you know, and then for me, absolutely. Sometimes, okay, we're being vulnerable, right? Sometimes I want to push the envelope on stuff, and I don't know if Terry, you with me.
I'll tell you the truth. I'm straight. I ain't gonna, what is it called?
I don't know what's it called, bro.
I ain't gonna be issues.
He's a straight shooter, man. You know, he's just like, hey.
I'm like, yeah.
I don't like that.
Nope.
You know, but I think that's the thing.
Nope.
So I think we definitely know how to turn each other on, but you also need to know what your spouse's breaks are, because that can also ruin a romantic moment if you trying to do some new thing and your partner ain't even with it, it's like, no, red light. So one of the things I would say is,
what you been watching?
She tried to 50 shades me. She tried to 50 shades me.
Watch that movie. I don't think I'm allowed to watch it, actually. That or Magic Mike. We have prerequisites and stuff we can and cannot watch. So those are the things we don't watch. Because perversion can get into it, So anyway, that's no joke. But just make sure, know how to romance your spouse, but then also know the breaks. That's all I would say. So,
yeah. I would say we're still working on that. I think, we're being vulnerable. So I think I'm very traditional in the sense that I'm kind of just like, how do I say this? Look, he real quiet.
Yeah, because I don't think I am.
You think you would?
I know how to turn on.
He does.
And I'm, that's just.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, sorry, y'all.
I'm married.
Yeah, so
I know, right? I need to work on that.
That's my cup of tea.
And it's not mine. I was just watching The Brothers last night, and this is so funny. But have y'all seen it like recently? Probably not. Okay, shoot. So DL, his character, his wife, they were married. They've been married for like 3 years, but she had a problem with
doing something.
Yeah, she hated it. Like, and he was like, "God, leave!" Like,
yes, I remember.
My mom is the same.
It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'm still working on it. And I think sometimes that kind of, puts a damper on the mood.
No, it don't.
But he won't say it, right?
No, but I'm sorry to cut y'all off, but no, that's appreciated that you said that, Kanisha, because people think that married people, you should know them, exactly all the time, every time, and that is not the case, people. Even if you're in a relationship, it may be spicy when you first get together or when you first dating, it's exciting. But as you start getting, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, you got, like Rebecca said, you got to rediscover and relearn them. And then sometimes you still growing and accepting new things. Not everybody is always freaks. Everybody, when you're together, you're not always a freak. Sometimes you got to learn to be a freak if that's what your partner wants. It's all about your partner and not what we see on, social media and these movies. That's a little, as y'all's president say, that's fake news.
Fake news.
Figure it out on your own.
Fake news.
Good. That's real though, because that one part ain't growing, but everything else on both people, that all the rest of that is. So you do gotta relearn.
I'm sorry, I was so confused. It's not growing. Is that awkward?
Like a man's stuff don't grow no more.
Oh, okay. I was really lost. Y'all viewers, y'all could be lost too, so you're welcome. Continue.
But everything else on everybody else is growing. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody both gaining weight and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I was trying to keep it appropriate so we don't get flagged. But you got all of this stuff. So again, like Rebecca said, relearning it, especially. And here's the thing that we don't talk about. And I think we actually did talk about this in a different video. But if one party has like experiences, like a lot of experiences coming into the relationship more than the other person, and then they're trying to they're not necessarily trying to compare it, but they're bringing over those different experimental things. You gotta be willing to understand this person, your spouse's body, and say, okay, they don't like the swirl. You know what I'm saying? Like the tornado don't work for them. So you gotta you just gotta, be more traditional, or kissing, it matters a lot, or touch matters a lot, or the caressing matters a lot. I was talking to one of my brothers, and what we were talking about was when you kind of got a hit it and quit it relationship with somebody, that's what it is. So you don't really it ain't really a warm-up process. But when you in a real relationship, you trying to get that person ready from 10 o'clock a.m. when you look good last night. You getting them ready all the way till when it's time. If you want peak performance, you see what I'm saying? You got to really set the mood hours in advance, because this ain't just a jump on it and go.
Yeah, and I think like for me, I think Chris knows how to turn me on. Like he knows you better come with fresh breath. We can't have that you only brush your teeth in the morning.
Yeah.
No,
you gotta floss.
You gotta floss because if you got sometimes that food be stuck in there and your breath ain't good.
Yeah.
If your breath ain't good, I can't kiss you. He loves to kiss. I know he loves to kiss. That's how I turn him on. He loves when I throw on some lingerie. And, I don't wear wigs and a lot of weaves, so sorry, babe. But he'll get the other stuff. But if I have different hair, he'll be like, ooh, okay. But for me, come with some fresh breath. And you have to work. You have to warm me up. You can't just be like, all right, let's go. No, I need a massage, rub me down on my back. And it's not an every time type of thing. Right. But if you want, like, peak performance, like he said, you better rub me down and come with some fresh breath. That's my biggest requirement. And smell good. That's my requisite.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to keep it spicy for sure. Because otherwise, once it get dull, that's when you start seeing people been married for 25 years and then they splitting off. Because you know what I'm saying? One person might be like, oh, I still want to be spicy. And the other one like, man, I'm trying to dull it down. Yeah. And, you still want to be able to please your partner. Right. And making those, I ain't gonna say sacrifices, but that extra go out the way to make sure that you're being pleased. You know what I mean? Like, because you're the priority. Right. We're the ones that got married, and you go from there.
And communicate.
Yeah.
So communicate. If it's something that you don't like, if it's something you do want or you do like, communication. Just let me know. You know what I mean? Because how can I, can't read your mind? You got 10. You know what you want. So.
I think it is important. I think it is super important to also just be willing to try something new. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean you got to go all the way through it, but like on the introductory level, just see if you give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? And don't just try one time and be like, no, that ain't work. Give it you know what I'm saying? Try to like allow yourself to relax and get comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that stuff is important. Again, as it pertains to marriage, I know everyone is not married, but as it pertains to marriage, this is gonna be your partner for life. Like forever is a long time. You know what I'm saying? So definitely try to make the best out of it and try to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Be intentional about enjoying it. It'll pay off for you. That's what I know for sure.
And life is really short because human nature will get bored real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So you got to make sure that you're doing like what Chris is saying, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So I hope. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sis.
No, I was gonna say one last thing, and this maybe will be another topic, but men are so wanting women to try new things and relax and be willing. But men, maybe this will be another topic. What are you willing to try that you always want your ladies to try? Just saying. Have to put that out there.
Interesting.
Hey, you should have saw all three of our faces.
Not crazy, but just new. But maybe that'll be another topic.
My twin, my brother over there, me and him both had our own arms folded. Like,
yeah, I know. Close.
No.
Look, close your mouth, Arian.
Yeah, that was.
But that's it. Sorry, KP. I just want to throw that out.
It's okay. It's okay, sis. Just being open, right? Open to trying new things. So we really. Go ahead.
What you have to
say? Your homework, once again, all month long, you're romancing your spouse all month long. What is it, that thing that's going to really turn that frown upside down into a big old Kool-Aid smile? What is it gonna
So, of course, romance is not just in the bedroom. That's with everything, right? All day long, every day, 24/7. And like my husband said, life is short. So live every day in terms of romance like it could be your last. So we love you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. We really hope that this video was impactful for you guys. When we're talking about romance, again, we're going to be talking about romance all month long. That's the topic all month. With today, of course, how do you lose romance, and maybe some ways too how you can rekindle it. So please, you guys, comment. If there's any questions that you have, any comments, make sure you drop it in the comments. Interact with us, like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as you know, of course, we're gonna come back next Friday with another video. So as we always say, TMP
Oh,
bye, y'all.
Anything I can provide for you, I go right to the sky and bring it back to you. I wanna live, I wanna die with you. Just say the word and watch how all your dreams come true.